Hey everyone, John Chow here from johnchow.com, and I'm here with Tim Page, and welcome to our webinar. We will be starting in a few minutes. We just seeing everyone coming in here right now. But just as an audio check, if you can raise your hand or just type that you can hear me, that would be great. Okay, I see. Hi, John. Thanks. Okay, yep, you can hear me. Okay, good. Looks like the audio is working.
Nice.
So we will be starting in about approximately 2 minutes. It looks like we'll be on time. The webinar will be going for 90 minutes. It will also, and we will be doing a recording, so everyone who is registered for this webinar will be getting a replay of it afterward. So hang tight. We'll be starting in a few minutes. If anyone should have any question during the webinar, if you look at your, I guess your GoToWebinar control panel, you will see there is a place for you to type in questions. So feel free to type in a question anytime. We will get to them either at the Q&A section at the end, or I will just type in the answer for you and answer it right for you. All right, we'll be starting in 1 minute. Okay, welcome to our webinar. My name is John Chow from johnchow.com. And my guest today is Tim Page. He's the conversion expert over at Lead Pages. For those who don't know, Lead Pages is one of my foundation tools. It is tremendously responsible for how I built my email lists. And today's webinar, Tim is going to go over the 4 steps to quickly grow your email list without spending all your time on marketing. And let's just face it, most of us spend way too much time on marketing. So Tim, are you there?
I'm here, John. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Tim. So looks like we have a nice full house today. And what I'm going to do is how this is going to work, like I said. Um, on your control panel, there is a question screen. So you have any question for Tim while he's going through his presentation, feel free to type it. And either Tim will answer it right there and then, or he will answer it during the Q&A at the end of the session. So this webinar is live. And so we do welcome your question and welcome your feedback. So with let's just go right into it, and I'll just let Tim take over. And if you have a question, feel free to type it, and either Tim and I will answer it, either I'll type it and Tim will answer it live on the screen. So we'll go with that. And with that, I will turn over to Tim.
All right, thanks so much, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we've got a fun one today. This is really my favorite presentation we've ever created. And we've done a lot. We've done a lot of webinars, and this is one of these ones where if you take action on this webinar, you can see amazing changes in your business. So this is 4 steps to quickly grow your email list without spending all of your time on marketing. And here's what we're going to talk about today. So during the next little bit of time we have together, I'll be sharing with you 4 incredibly simple steps to take that'll give you an immediate boost in email opt-in rate and give you more time to focus on other parts of your business. I know that a lot of folks really struggle with this. They know they need to be growing their email list, but they've got to figure out a way to balance that with all the other things, their family, all the other obligations, creating, products and services, focusing on their customers, that kind of thing. But the email list is really the foundation for a successful business. So we're going to talk about the steps that you need to take, but not only will we discuss those 4 steps, but we'll also talk about how to put them together to turn your website into a powerful evergreen lead generation tool, meaning it's going to work for you all the time. Okay. There's no informational tease. So I don't have, like a book of marketing secrets or something to sell you. And I'm going to tell you a few of them, but you got to buy the book to get the rest. There's nothing like that going on. Okay. I've got no incentive to hold anything back. So today I'm going to give you everything I can and tell you everything I can during this time that we have together. So definitely stick around for some of the best insights that I've been able to share, ever on a webinar. Just a note, so this is designed to help you whether you are or are not a Lead Pages customer. Hopefully you are, and I know that when I looked at the registrations, a whole bunch of you are already Lead Pages customers, so thank you so much. And I know that a bunch of you are not as well. So I'm going to help you do this stuff whether you do or don't use our software, but I'll be showing you how to do this stuff inside of our software, just because it will save you a lot of time and development costs. Okay. Now, I do have some really amazing bonuses if you decide to become a customer before the webinar is over with. So stick with us until the end, and I'll share with you how you can get those. And if you're already a customer, I can let you know how to get those bonuses as well at the end. So here's how this is going to work. We are going to run for about an hour and a half. Okay, so we're going to go 90 minutes. And I'd really encourage you to type in your questions as you think of them. I know John mentioned this, but this is really important to me. I want to be able to answer your questions as we go. I've been on a lot of live events where, I can't ask questions as I go, and I tend to get lost. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, if you will. So sometimes it's easy for me to get lost. And I don't want that to be the case for you. If something doesn't make sense, please feel free to ask your questions. Make them relevant to what we're talking about at that point in the webinar, and I'll be happy to answer them. And then if something is, if you have questions that aren't related to kind of what we're talking about, go ahead and type them in, and I'll get to them in the Q&A. Get out your notepad and start writing things down, but let me encourage you to avoid writing down, like cute quotes or interesting sayings or fun facts to tell at your next cocktail party or networking event. Okay? Only write down action items, like actual things you're going to do, and have a time marked off in your calendar within the next 24 to 48 hours to implement this stuff. Because everything I'm about to share with you, you could do very, very quickly if you wanted to. Okay? You could literally do it tonight if you want to, but don't let it go beyond a couple of days. And last but not least, like John mentioned, this is being recorded, and we'll let you know how to access the replay of it at the end. So briefly about me, my name is Tim Page. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. There you can see my fantastic family. I'm the conversion educator at Lead Pages. And what that means is that my job is to take all this information that we've been learning as a company and share it with folks like you. So I think this is maybe our 3rd or 4th webinar that John and I have done together. And I've really enjoyed presenting this stuff with you folks. I did over 230 webinars in 2014. I'm on pace to do about 400 this year, which is crazy. And so this is what I do, okay? My whole job is to help you get results in your business through the knowledge and data that we have here at Lead Pages. But more importantly than all this stuff about me, a little bit about Lead Pages. So Lead Pages is software that takes the latest and greatest of what's been tested and proven in marketing and just does it for you. So right now, our software generates around over 6 million leads every single month. We've got over 35,000 paying customers. We have multiple split tests happening across our platform at all times. And that may or may not mean anything to you, but all we do is just obsess about this stuff. Okay? We're not some tiny little 2-person operation. We're a big company. We've got over 110 employees. And the reason why I'm telling you all this is because I want you to know that all of this stuff, all this information that I'm about to share with you is not based on theories or concepts or ideas about what may or may not work. Okay, this is the stuff that really, really works in the world of marketing. The stuff that we have tested and proven time and time again to prove that it gets results. All right. So, with all that said, to address the issues that most people are facing in their marketing, and somebody said hi over there in the questions box. Hello. So, we're going to talk about the Lead Pages System 3.0. And you may have heard of the Pareto principle, which says that it's the 80-20 rule. It says that 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes, meaning that 20% of your efforts in business are generating 80% of your results. And we found, based on our data, that that's not quite right. Okay. We found that it's actually more like 95-5 in marketing, meaning that 5% of your efforts are generating 95% of your results. And if you're a glass half empty person, you're looking at that thinking, wow, that means that 95% of my efforts are generating 5% of my results. And unfortunately, yes, that is the case. But the good news is that if you can figure out what that 5% of things are that are generating your 95% of your results, then you can get back your time and see results like never, ever before. All right. So today we're going to focus on the 5%. All right. And that way you can get back your time. So if you're ready for me to dive in, go ahead and type yes into the questions box. And if I see a bunch of folks typing yes, then we will go ahead and move forward. Oh, I love it. They're starting to come in already. There we go. I love it. People are awake and ready to rock and roll. Good. All right. So let's get into step one. So step one is to create a resource guide landing page. All right, a resource guide landing page. And you may have heard of me heard me talking about this before, but it is kind of a pivotal foundation to everything we're going to be talking about today. So here's kind of our famous resource guide landing page. And the reason why this is called the resource guide landing page is because when somebody opts in on this page, they get sent a list of tools or resources. Right? It's the resource guide landing page. So somebody comes to this page, they read the headline, they decide they want to opt in, they click the button, an opt-in form appears, they enter their email address, and here's what they get sent. Okay? This is it. It's a simple one-page PDF list of tools and resources. Okay? And what kills me about this one-page PDF is that this took us about 25 minutes to create. All right? That's it. Just 25 minutes. All right. And this landing page, we used our software to create, Lead Pages. So that took us about 5 minutes. So between those two pages, it was a 30-minute time investment. And yet those two pages have gotten us more opt-ins and more consistent business results and growth than a page that we created to give away a free video course. All right. So we once spent an entire month creating a free video course to give away to people. And we spent 2 whole weeks writing an ebook to give away to people. And yet we got a higher conversion rate and more opt-ins for that one-page PDF than we did for either the video course or the ebook. Now, there are some interesting things going on this page that make it work so well. The first thing is that she's looking at the headline. And we've found that when the main subject on your page is looking at the primary action you want people to take, that increases your conversion rate. Okay? Also, all things considered, both men and women are more likely to respond on pages that feature pictures of attractive women than they are to respond on pages that feature pictures of attractive men, interestingly enough. Okay? So, why is this the best performing landing page we've ever used? Well, it doesn't require somebody to process too much information, first off. So somebody doesn't have to watch a 3-minute video or read an entire page of copy in order to make a decision on that page. The only thing they have to figure out is, do they want the 5 dirt cheap tools I use to create all my videos? It's the only thing they have to figure out. Okay. The second reason is that everyone wants to know the tools that you're using. Everyone wants to know the tools you're using. Studies have shown that people would rather acquire a tool than acquire training because it's easier and more enjoyable to buy something that's going to solve your problems than it is to learn a new skill. Okay. Everyone wants to know the tools that you're using. So think about the last time you were going to start something new like a yoga class. Right? What's the first thing you want to know? Well, what kind of yoga mat should I buy? And if you know, I'm also a voiceover artist, so I get a lot of people that come to me and say, "Hey, I want to get into doing voiceover," and but their first question is always, "What kind of mic should I buy?" Right? And somebody said, "Can I do a landing page that the user signs up to a membership site?" Yeah, absolutely, you could do that for sure. And if you look at the top selling issues of a lot of magazines, you'll find that they tend to be the gear guide, right? Outside buyer's guide, exotic car buyer's guide, digital photo buyer's guide, radio control helicopter buyer's guide, forensic magazine, forest products industry buyer's guide. And so here's the deal. People believe that if they have the tools the pros use, they'll perform like the pros. People believe that if they have the tools the pros use, they'll perform like the pros. And to put this into perspective, think about how many people you know that are terrible golfers that have all the most high-end golf clubs money can buy, right? You can probably think of most of your friends, all right? So this outperforms a free ebook because a lot of people are experiencing information overload and don't want something else to read that's long. They'd rather just have a simple list of tools that would quickly and easily solve their problems. It outperforms video lead magnets because the perceived value of video lead magnets has gone down a lot recently due to the proliferation of launches and lack of time. So not everybody wants to watch a 15-minute video, okay? But if it's a list of tools that will quickly solve their problems, then that's something they would want, okay? It outperforms opt-ins for free coaching sessions, which goes to show that greater value does not necessarily equal a higher conversion rate. All right. So I want to put this into perspective. All right. Our CEO, Clay, once gave away an hour of his time to everybody who opted in. And yet we got a higher conversion rate and more opt-ins for the one-page PDF than we did for an hour of Clay's time. So if you only take away one thing from this point in the webinar, I want it to be this. The amount of time you spend creating your lead magnet does not equal your conversion rate. The amount of time you spend creating your lead magnet does not equal your conversion rate. All right. That's so important. And then the other reason is the time to benefit ratio is high. So you don't have to make anything all fancy pants like this, right? You could just type something up in Microsoft Word, export it as a PDF, and give it away to people and be up and running in no time. Okay. So the biggest question I get asked by a lot of people is, how do I create a resource guide for my business, right? Because, my business doesn't have tools, but every industry, every business has resources that could be given, okay? So if you're tripping over my words. If you're a real estate agent, you could do this. Resource guide, the top 5 safest credit boosting home loans of this year. If you're a dentist, buyer's guide, the top 5 electric toothbrushes of this year, including the one that I use. If you're a life coach, app guide, the top 4 iPhone apps for increasing your productivity, including the one that I use every day. Marketing agency, the top 5 digital marketing tools for local businesses. Hint, the 3 best ones are free. Okay. Jewelry stores, you could do fashion guide, the top 3 accessories to look hot in 2015, including 2 under $100. And here's my favorite. All right. Fitness experts, the only 3 pieces of exercise equipment you need in your home. Hint, they all weigh less than 5 pounds. And here's a little tip for you. When you tell people that it's not what they expect it to be, like that exercise equipment could possibly weigh less than 5 pounds, that will really help you out and improve your conversion rate because people will want to know what that counterintuitive thing is, right? What exercise equipment that I would really need could weigh less than 5 pounds. And so that's going to improve your conversion rate. So once you've got a great resource guide, the next step is you need a high converting landing page. And there's lots of options for creating high converting landing pages. But there's really only 2 that I would ever even consider if I were you. So if you're not using lead pages, the only really viable option is to hire somebody to design and develop the template for you, the landing page for you. And, they'd have to design the page, code it, integrate it with your email service provider, and set it up on your website. And I'm not a designer, nor am I a developer. But I have asked a bunch of folks who are designers and developers how much this would cost to get something like this done. And the average cost that I've been quoted is anywhere between $500 to $800. And the average time frame to turn this around is usually 3 to 6 weeks. So you could spend $500 to $800 to get something like this done and wait 3 to 6 weeks, or you could use the better option, which is faster, less expensive, and but more effective, and that's lead pages. So let me show you how to do this inside of our software. So this is what it looks like, and you can see we've got sales pages, opt-in pages, webinar pages, upsells, thank yous, launches, pre-carts, etc. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down and use the template we were just looking at. So it's this one. It's called New Basic Squeeze Page, and we'll go ahead and save and continue. All right. So anything you want to change on the page, you just click on it. So if you want to change the headline, you click on it. You want to change the logo, you click on it. So what I'm going to do is let's time this and see how long it takes. So it's 1:16 right now. Let's see how long it takes me to create this page. So we'll do free report reveals the only 3 things you need to maintain a great beard. Hint, you probably already have 2 of them. All right, so you could do something like that. And then up here we could, let's see, we could underline and italicize that if we want to. All right, so you can see, that you can basically edit text like just like any text editor, which is nice. All right, that makes it easy. Now you can get rid of anything on the page you don't want. So if you want to get rid of the logo, you just click the little I over here. Want to get rid of the footer, you just click the little I there. All right, but let's go ahead and click on the logo and we can upload our own. All right, but I'm going to use one that I've already got in here, so we'll do that. For the background image, you can, again, use one that we've already got or upload your own. I've got, oh, that's not the background image. What am I thinking here? All right, let's do this one. There we go. I like that because it's, like bushiness, bushy beard, that kind of thing. Under styles, you can change the fonts if you want to. All right, so we could change that. We could change the text color, make it like, kind of a grayish or something like that. We can change the box background. All right, so we can make it like that. We can change the button to kind of a green. All right. Now for opt-in integration, we integrate with just about every single email service provider. So don't worry if you don't see yours listed over here. We integrate with almost everybody. So Aweber, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Ontoport, Constant Contact, GetResponse, MadMimi, iContact, just about everybody. But I'm going to go with MailChimp for now. And then we can select our list. I've got a demo list right here. And we also have a tool called Lead Notification, so you can get an email with their information every time they opt in. You can collect whatever forms you want, form fields. So, email, first name, last name, phone number, address, drop-down boxes, radio buttons, whatever you want to do. We'll use the default thank you page for now, but we're going to change that in a little bit. You can change the image here. You can really customize this to your heart's desire. Say, where should we send your report? Right? We could go in here. We could change the button color to a green if we want to match kind of what we were doing earlier. Change the shadow color to kind of another green. Yeah, I like that. All right. Now, all of our templates are mobile responsive, so you can see what they look like on a tablet and on a phone, all that kind of stuff. But let's call this demo landing page. Get it? Demo landing page. My last name is Paige. Anyway, I know I'm corny. All right, so we're going to go ahead and publish this. And it'll take just a second to save the data. All right, so now it's saved. We can click publish and view page. So we started at 116. It's now 119. So it took a little over 3 minutes to create. Yeah, so that's 120. Let's say it took 4 minutes. So in 4 minutes, we now have this awesome looking landing page. This is published and ready to go. People can literally come here and opt in on this landing page right now. Okay, so it's that simple and that easy, and we can literally just do this now. Okay, this is now our our landing page, and there's a bunch of ways you can publish. So we give you the URL, so you can just link folks up to that URL, and they can opt in, and that's hosted right on our server. We're on the Google server, so it doesn't get much faster than that. If you're using WordPress, we have a WordPress plugin to make it easy to publish to your site. You just download the plugin here, install it on your WordPress site. And then whenever you want to publish one of your pages, you just log into your WordPress site. You go to the Lead Pages plugin, click Add New. This is that landing page we just created. This is your URL. Let's say we want it to be /John Chow. We'll click Publish. And now if you go to softwaredemo.wpengine.com/John Chow, there it is. Okay. So it takes you to your new landing page, and now it would be on your URL, whatever your URL is, would be right there. All right. You can also download the HTML and publish it to your own servers if you wanted to do that. So it doesn't matter what kind of website builder or hosting or whatever you're using, you can absolutely use Lead Pages. All right. You can also add it as a tab to Facebook. So this is really powerful for Facebook ads, as well as just your social media promotion in general. So I'll show you how to do this in 4 clicks. So here we go. Click 1, click 2, click 3, and click 4. And there it is. Okay. So now this is a live landing page inside of our Facebook. Now, obviously, this is a demo Facebook, but I'll show you what the what a real one looks like. Here's the conversion cast Facebook. And you can see right here it says, lead pages. And you can change that to say whatever you want, but we'll click on that. And here it is. All right. All set, ready to go. A nice landing page inside of Facebook. Okay. So lots of options for publishing these pages. And there's also another feature to make your life even easier. One thing is when you're going to deliver a lead magnet normally, which is the thing you give away to get people to opt in, typically you'd have to go inside your email service provider like Aweber or whatever. You'd have to create a new list, create a new form for the list, and write a new welcome email that delivers your lead magnet. And we found that takes, on average, 45 minutes to an hour every time you want to do that. Whereas if you're using lead pages, you can just click on lead magnet, click yes to send an email, put your name, put your email. The subject could be here's your report. You can write them a message if you want to, and then you just select whatever you want them to get. And now whenever they opt in, lead pages will automatically email them your lead magnet. So now you don't have to mess with your email service provider to get that done. Okay? So a couple of testimonials. Brian Schickow said, lead pages took my opt-in rate from 8.6% to 23% in a single day. Juan Martitigui from Mind Valley Hispano said, these are giving me 3x to 4x conversions against the one I was using before. A couple of tweaks and my biz will make at least twice the money I was making. Can't tell you how grateful I am for the service you've created. And Jason Brubaker from filmmakingstuff.com said, since adopting lead pages, I've seen a dramatic increase in my opt-ins. One page in particular went from an 8% opt-in conversion to over 30% in days. This has been the most awesome tool in my online business. Somebody said, love this, very nice. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying this. So let's move on to step 2. And somebody asked how they get sound. You may want to restart. Go to webinar. Anyway, so step 2 is to utilize your thank you page. And the thank you page is one of those pages that is, most people don't realize that it is an amazing conversion page on their website. Most people look at the thank you page as, just a placeholder, but it's really not a placeholder. It's a great opportunity to grow your list. But first, we need to understand the path that somebody takes to get there. So first off, they've got to find your site. And it is, as our CEO said, it's a statistical miracle if somebody finds your website, right? Because there's billions of web pages out there. So when they find your website, you should feel grateful. And then they're one of the few people who end up finding your site and like it enough to read a blog post or your About Me. And then they enter their email address and decide to be one of the 10% or so who opts in. But what happens then is the part that is important, really important to understand. Once they've finally opted in and they've gone through all this effort and we've basically gone through all this work to get them to actually opt in, the next thing that they see once they click that, subscribe button is this. It says, in order to activate your subscription, check your email and click on the link in that email. You will not receive your subscription until you click that link to activate it. Why are we doing this? Why would we send people to this awful, boring, blank, void of personality page? And the only call to action on this page is to leave your website. Think about this. If we're sending people away from our website, that doesn't seem like the smartest path, right? And I know that we want people to confirm their email address, and that's why we do this. But I want you to consider this. First off, we found based on our data that the people that don't confirm their email address are the exact same people that otherwise would have confirmed their email address, downloaded your lead magnet, and unsubscribed anyway. If somebody doesn't want to be on our list, we don't want them there anyway. All right. The other thing is that when somebody opts in, it's not like they're just going to abandon their inbox. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't just go opt in for something and then go, well, I'm done with my email. I don't need that anymore. Right? We don't do that. And so instead of worrying about getting people to confirm, and instead of sending people away from our website, which there's no guarantee they'll ever come back to, what I would encourage you to do is instead use this as an opportunity to grow your list and get a conversation going with your audience. Let me show you the page that I recommend for doing that. It's my favorite thank you page. Now, there's a lot of thank you pages that you could use, but I'm going to show you my favorite one. And it's this one, the invite a friend thank you page. So let's go ahead and grab that. And it'll take just a few seconds for this to load up. There we go. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I love this, but think about it this way. If somebody opts in on your list, they're a prime candidate to help you grow your list because they probably know a lot of people that are interested in similar topics, right? People hang out with other people with like interests. So keep that in mind. The other thing to consider here is that somebody who opts in is at a high excitement level about your products or services, right? They've just given you their email address and said, please market to me, in essence, right? So if you make it easy for them to share, that is a point where they're much more likely to actually do so. So because of that, let's go ahead and create this page, and I'll show you, what this is, can look like. So let's do the My Beard is Awesome thing. We'll do thanks, it's on its way. We can change this and have it say, in the meantime, why not help a few friends grow their beards as well? Click the buttons below, below to share this awesome report because sharing is caring. Right? We could do something like that. And then we could change, we could go in here and change the font again. So we can make this one like news cycle or something. And we'll make this kind of a grayish. There we go. All right. And now what you do is you set it so that the share on Facebook button and the share on Twitter button actually shares your landing page, right? Not this thank you page, but the landing page. So we'll do softwaredemo.wpengine.com/John Chow. All right. And then for the tweet button here, the same thing. And then you could even write their tweet for them. So you could say something like, my beard is getting more awesome thanks to this free report. Okay. So we could get rid of the first host there. We could say, something like beard on friends. And we could change this image to somebody who is clearly not me. All right. And we'll do John C. Thank you demo. All right. So we'll click save. So now we've got the thank you page created. The next step is to actually publish it, right? We have to actually publish this as our thank you page. So to do that is actually really easy. You're going to click publish. We're going to copy the URL here. Okay. We're going to go back here. We're going to go to our landing page. Okay. Now you're going to click the button that says download the report. Go to thank you page. And we're going to replace this URL right here. Okay. And we'll click OK and save. So now just to make sure this works, let's go to softwaredemo.wpengine.com/John Chow. Okay, it's on our link. Now if we click download the report, we enter our email, click download the report again. It now has emailed us that report, and it's taken us to this awesome thank you page. And if I see this page and I want to share it, I click share on Twitter. And now it's got the tweet all written up nicely, so I can just share that out to my friends. Okay, this is an incredibly easy way to have your folks that opt in grow your list for you. If you want exponential list growth, if you're concerned about traffic, if you're worried because you don't have a list at all yet, this is a great way to overcome that problem, because for every person you get to opt in, you have the potential to get multiple other people to opt in along with them. Here's a great testimonial from the folks at Chet Holmes International. They said, all we did was add a thank you page after people register for our webinars, and we've seen a 342% increase in Facebook likes. Thanks, lead pages. Oops, just checked. It's now up 385%. Never would have guessed a thank you page could create that kind of result. All right. So let's move on to step 3. Step 3 is the one that I would say had the fastest impact on our business when we implemented it. So early on in our business, our website had a 0.5% site-wide opt-in rate, which, by the way, is the average. That's the average conversion rate, site-wide opt-in rate for most websites. Okay, so most websites have around a 0.5% site-wide opt-in rate. Well, what we did was when we started implementing content upgrades, it only took us 30 days to go from 0.5% to a 30% site-wide opt-in rate. 30 days. That's it. Okay. Really, absolutely amazing. So content upgrades are powerful, but here's what I mean by content upgrades. One single lead magnet is just not enough. What's interesting to note is that your ideal customer is interested in multiple different topics potentially, or they may only be interested in one. So what a lot of people do is they take one lead magnet, right? Like they create the resource guide lead magnet, and then they use that for everything that they do. So they give that lead magnet away for every single thing that they do. So they write a blog post and they put that lead magnet at the bottom of it, right? They do this, they put the lead magnet at the bottom of it. So, and that's okay. But, for example, at Lead Pages, we write about marketing. And but there are lots of topics related to marketing. So let's say we write a blog post all about podcasting, which is, related to marketing. If our lead magnet is 5 steps to create a great landing page, well, that's not really specific to podcasting, is it? And so doing that is not going to get a high conversion rate. So instead, we recommend doing content upgrades. And what a content upgrade is it's a custom lead magnet that upgrades the value of your blog post. All right. It's something specific. So, for example, in a blog post about podcasting, we would give away, we would have people opt in for some kind of lead magnet that is specific to podcasting. So I'll give you some ideas for what you could do for content upgrades. So you could do a PDF checklist. All right. You could have people opt into a PDF checklist, opt in to download a PDF checklist. My favorite example of this was there was a blog post that I saw that was all about how to, it was a blog post all about how to build a wooden picnic table. Okay. How to build a wooden picnic table. And the interesting thing about this was at the bottom of the blog post, they had an opt-in to download a PDF checklist of all the materials you would need for that wooden picnic table. That way, when you went to the store, you wouldn't forget any of the materials that you needed. Right? It's brilliant. It's so brilliant. And anybody that read that blog post would clearly be interested in that PDF checklist. You could do a PDF version of your blog post. Have people opt in to download a PDF version of your blog post. Take the exact same content, put it into a PDF, and have people opt in to download it. Okay? And if you don't believe me that this works, a great example is from my buddy Pat Flynn from smartpassiveincome.com. So Pat's first ever product online was an ebook that was made up of all the material that was already available on his blog. Pat took that ebook, he sold it, he made over $8,000 his first month from an ebook that was made up of freely available content. So if people are willing to buy that ebook that's made up of freely available content, you better believe that they're willing to opt in to download your PDF version of your blog post. You can do worksheets. You can do recipes, resource guides. There are a lot of different things that you can do for content upgrades. But I want to show you a couple of examples of content upgrades in action. So this is Noah Kagan from AppSumo. He's got a blog called OK Dork, and he did a post where he analyzed the 3,000 most successful LinkedIn publishing posts. And in this blog post, you could opt in to download bonus tips for your next LinkedIn publishing post. Okay. Here's another great example. Brian Dean from Backlinko. His most popular post of all time was a list of Google's 200 ranking factors. Really amazing post. And the social shares that this got were insane. I mean, look at this, 4,600 tweets, 2,500 likes, 1,600 plus ones. I mean, it's just crazy. Okay. And to take advantage of all that traffic, he offered a bonus where you could download a free checklist of how to implement the Google ranking factors. And then, of course, the one that I've got to show, which is our podcast conversion cast, which my internet decided it's going to be slow right now. While that's happening, somebody said, actually, no, let me go to this and then I'll answer the question. So we do a conversion cast. We actually post our show notes. So we do an episode, we post the show notes, and people can actually opt in to get additional info on that tactic. Okay? Somebody said, I understand the content upgrade idea, but if the person has already opted in to the first lead magnet, why would you need them to opt in again for the upgrade? You already have their email address. So obviously this is not to get their email address again. It's to get new folks' email address, because not everybody that reads the blog post for episode 80 has read a blog post before. Lots of folks will find you and read your newest blog post. And that's for the new people that find you to opt in. Now, the ones that have already opted in, they can re-opt in. They'll get the lead magnet if you're using lead pages, but they won't be added to your list again. So this is not for existing subscribers to keep subscribing. It's for new subscribers. Okay. Somebody said, will you be offering a link to view this webinar? Yep, stick around and I'll let you know how to get access to that. Okay. So now you've seen these opt-in forms that I'm showing you that pop up once somebody clicks on a link or a button or an image. Those are called lead boxes. It's a two-step opt-in, meaning step one is to click here. Step two is to opt in. And we've found that when you replace the old school opt-in where the form fields are visible with this two-step opt-in, that increases conversion rate on average by about 32%. And we've tested that across 30,000 lead pages customers, and it has continuously proven to be true. And there are a few reasons why that's the case. The first reason is because it makes your site a giving page instead of a taking page. We've found that when the opt-in form is immediately visible the minute somebody comes to your page, they look at that like a taking page. But when you only give them the opt-in form, when they ask you to give them the opt-in form by clicking on a button or a link, they look at that like a giving page. Okay. The second reason is because this forces people to make a decision. If the opt-in box were right here, somebody could just scroll around and leave, right? But the minute they click that, they have to make a decision about whether or not they want to opt in. They only have two options: opt in or close the box. And the reality is 100% of the people who don't make a decision about whether or not to opt in on your site will not opt in on your site. I'm going to say that again. 100% of the people who don't make a decision about whether or not to opt in on your site will not opt in on your site. But some percentage of the people who do make a decision about whether or not to opt in on your site will opt in on your site. So if you could get everybody in the world to make some decision about whether or not to opt in on your site, you could have the world's worst conversion rate and still have the biggest mailing list ever, because you would have gotten people to do what most people can't, and that's make a decision. Somebody posted just 2 question marks. Was that confusing? Is that why you posted those question marks? All I'm saying is that it's important to get people to make a decision. Okay? It's important to get people to make a decision, and this forces people to make that decision. All right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and, I'm sorry. The third reason that this works so well is because it creates something called behavioral inertia. And what that means is if you can get somebody to commit at a low level of commitment, like clicking on a button or a link, the likelihood that they'll commit at a higher level of commitment, like opting in, skyrockets because they're in a pattern of compliance, right? They've already clicked the button. They might as well continue on and subscribe. Salespeople have been doing this for years. They call it a yes ladder. They get you to say yes, 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 yes to a bunch of tiny little commitments. And then when they ask you to buy, you're more likely to continue on saying yes because they're in a pattern of compliance. All right? So again, this is hugely important. And these 2-step opt-in, these lead boxes work really well. So let's go ahead and actually create a lead box. All right? I want to show you how simple it is. We're going to go to lead boxes, click create new lead box, select save and continue. Okay. We're going to select our integration, select our list. Okay. Click customize the form. We'll set our same thank you page from earlier. Change the image to something else. So maybe we could make it the book image there. Change the headline to say, I want to send you this awesome report, but you need to tell me where to send it. Enter your email address below. I don't know, something like that. Okay. And then we can call this lead box demo for John C. And we'll click save. All right. Now let's publish it. Now you can publish it as a plain text link. You can publish it as a button or as an image. All right. So there are lots of ways that you can publish it. You can also make it a timed pop-up or an exit lead box. All right. So that means that it only appears when somebody goes to leave your site. But let's make it an image for now because we're going to use it for a content upgrade. So let's go ahead and grab this image here. You can upload your own, obviously, but I'm going to use this one. And you just copy the HTML. Now, wherever you want to put it, you can paste the HTML and you're good to go. So let's say we want to do a new blog post. We'll click Add New. We'll call this Content Upgrade Demo. And now we can just paste that HTML right there. Now, when we go to view this blog post, here it is, okay? And when you click on that, the opt-in form appears. All right? So you can put this in a sidebar banner. You can put it really anywhere you can put an HTML link. You can put that lead box. Okay? So this is huge. All right? This is huge. Somebody said, is it true that a thank you page has to be created for each list you create before integrating with your autoresponder? Nope, not at all. So we have a default thank you page. And so you can use the default thank you page to get started. But I would recommend that you just create that social sharing thank you page. That's what I would do. But no, you don't have to create a new thank you page for each list or anything like that. You can integrate with your email service provider before you create your thank you page. That's perfectly fine. All right. So hypnotistentertainment.com said used lead boxes for online hypnosis classes. Signups increased by 30% just using the link for the mailing list. Okay. Greg Hickman from Mobile Mix said the lead box I'm using on my homepage, which is critical to my list growth, is converting at 45%. This will dramatically increase my revenue this year. Okay. So this is huge stuff. Huge stuff. So let's move on to start doing webinars. Oh, somebody said, I find a lead box right in the middle is annoying since I'm sometimes in the middle of still reading what's on the page. No? Well, remember, the only reason a lead box would pop up in the case of a content upgrade is because you clicked on a link to make it appear. So you were expecting something to happen because you clicked on the link, right? If you're talking about just a timed pop-up, something that just automatically appears, like for example, like, a pop-up that appears after 10 seconds or something, then yes, I would understand why that would, interrupt what you're reading. But with the lead boxes, they only appear when you click a button or a link to basically cause them to appear. And somebody said, is this easy to use with BigCommerce or Shopify? Absolutely. You can use our sales pages and then just link right up to your shopping cart. Yeah, that's no problem. All right. So step 4 is to start doing webinars. And I know a lot of people are scared of doing webinars because they feel like, oh man, I got to create all this content for the webinar and this kind of stuff. But the reality is, webinars, I can actually show you a webinar before we're done with this that doesn't require any content creation ahead of time. All right. So I can show you a webinar that doesn't require any content creation ahead of time. So with that said, I'll show you that in just a few minutes. But with that said, I'm actually going to go ahead and dive into why you should be doing webinars. So a lot of people think the main reason to do webinars is to get sales. And sure, webinars are great for getting sales. But the number one reason to do webinars is not for sales. The number one reason to do webinars is because webinars will grow your list faster than just about anything. And to prove my point, we have a tool inside of your Lead Pages account that allows you to sort templates by conversion rate. So I'm going to sort all of our templates by conversion rate. Let's see which of the top templates sorted by conversion rate are webinar registration templates. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the top 11 templates sorted by conversion rate are webinar registration templates. Okay. Beyond that, webinars have made us more money than anything we've ever done in terms of event-based marketing. Somebody said, how do you easily monetize webinars? So you sell your products or services at the end of the webinar. Now, you could sell the webinar itself, but I would encourage you to use the webinar as a marketing tool to grow your list. And at the end of the webinar, you promote your product. And if you want a great example of that, stick around and I'll show you how I do it. Okay. The majority of successful entrepreneurs, whether they're software companies, coaches, consultants, bloggers, e-commerce store owners, info product marketers, affiliate marketers, real estate agents, they're all using webinars to sell their products and grow their lists. Why? Because webinars are an all-in-one magic bullet for your business. They provide quality traffic because it's people who are looking to spend time with you that want to learn from you. They provide incredibly high conversion rates to sales. I was talking to somebody a few months ago that gets between a 30 and 40% average sales conversion rates on his webinars, and that's not even an unheard of number. They're great for doing partnerships. So if you're new to an industry, a great way to sort of break into the space is to co-host a webinar with somebody prominent in the space. They're also great for product creation. So if you're having a hard time creating a blog post or a training, something to sell or give away, do a webinar, record it, and then you can use it as a product or some kind of a training later. But here's the question. How do we do a webinar that doesn't require any content creation ahead of time? Here's how you do it. For your first webinar, you can just do a Q&A. Invite people to it and answer their questions. It'll get you used to doing it, and it will grow your list. Okay? Not only that, but these are great for doing market research because if people are asking the same questions over and over and over on your webinars, you know that that is the pain point that your market has and that you can create products and services around that. Okay? Also, every question that gets asked on your webinar is an opportunity to continue to promote your, I'm sorry, I don't know why I just said that. Every question that gets asked in your webinar is an opportunity to create future content around that question, whether it's a blog post, a future element to a webinar, a part of your FAQ, whatever it is. Then you can start doing a webinar every 2 weeks, minimum. I would encourage you to do at least one every week, but one every 2 weeks is okay. Do them live because they'll convert better and you'll be able to directly answer people's questions. And this is an amazing opportunity to talk directly with your customers in a live setting. Okay? So with that being said, let's take a look at my favorite webinar registration page. It's currently sitting at number 2 in the rankings, but I'm going to go with Webinar 3.0 page anyway. This is really my favorite webinar reg page. All right. And so there are a few things that make this page convert as well as it does. This page averages a 70% conversion rate. All right. But the first thing is that it has this countdown timer here. All right. And to set that, all you do is pick the date and time of the webinar and it'll count down for you. But the reason why the countdown timer is important is because sometimes a date seems like an abstract concept, right? Like I have no idea what today is. But if you said to me, one day, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 23 seconds, well, I know what that is, right? I can crystallize that date in my mind, and it gives me a sense of urgency. And so, it really makes me want to hurry up and register for that webinar. Okay, so I don't want to miss it. I see it counting down in front of my face, and my urgency is going up. The second reason this works so well is because it has an animated button. Now, you can't see it now because we're in the builder, but when I publish this page, you'll get a chance to see the animated button. And the reason why that's important is because when somebody goes to this page, the biggest thing you can do is get their attention on your call to action. So when this animates, it takes their attention right to that call to action button and gives you a higher likelihood that they'll click it. And I'll show you that in just a little bit. And the third reason is because it has this spot for Facebook comments. And when somebody leaves a Facebook comment on this webinar reg page, it actually shares that with all of their friends. So now you're getting free promotion. All right. So let's change this. We'll do Tim Page presents how to eat a vegan diet and still, I'm just making this up as we go here, build massive muscles in the next 30 days or less. All right, something like that. For the opt-in integration, we'll go ahead and set it up with MailChimp again. We'll set up our list. And now we also integrate directly with GoToWebinar. So if you're using GoToWebinar, it can add them to your regular list and your GoToWebinar list. If you're not using GoToWebinar, don't worry. Lead pages can still work for your webinars, and it actually does for lots of people. All you do is set up a sublist inside your email service provider. So if you're using MailChimp, just set up a list that's specific to your webinar in MailChimp, and then add them to that list when they register for the webinar. All right. So we'll change this to April, just as an example, April 17th. We can change this image. So it could be like, we'll make it an image of a lady. All right, we could do that. We could get rid of host number 2, right? And that's definitely not me, but that's okay. We get the idea. Let's call this John C. Webinar Reg Demo. Man, I can't type today. Demo. All right. And we'll click Save. And then once it saves, we're going to go ahead and publish it, and we'll view the page. So here it is, okay? Tim Page presents how to eat a vegan diet and still build massive muscles in the next 30 days or less. And you can see when I hover my mouse over the button, it expands because that animation really increases conversion rate. On top of that, when you click it, you'll see that there's an animated progress bar. This also improves conversion rate because once again, we're seeing that it is incomplete and it drives people to want to complete the process and close the cycle. All right? So Ryan Dice from Digital Marketer said, a few weeks ago, I held a webinar and the registration page converted at 72%. This was by far the highest converting landing page I've ever tested. Confession, I didn't design it and neither did my webmaster, but I was able to make it in about 3 minutes using lead pages. This person said, just FYI, your webinar registration template converted higher than any webinar page we've ever used. We've gotten registration rates as high as 60% before, but this one topped out at 74% and averaged 65% registration rate. Such an awesome template. So the 4 steps are: create a resource guide landing page, utilize your thank you pages, offer content upgrades, and start doing webinars. Now, I promised you at the beginning of the webinar I would offer you some amazing bonuses if you decided to sign up for lead pages before the webinar is over with. And I'm going to make good on that. So if you want to get some awesome bonuses, you're going to go to leadpages.net/John and then the number 1. So leadpages.net/John1. And you're going to sign up for lead pages. And this is what you're going to get when you do that. Now, if you're already a lead pages customer, stick around. I'll tell you how to get them in just a minute. But if you're not yet a customer, go to leadpages.net/John1. And here's what we're going to do. So first off, we will design a beautiful resource guide lead magnet for you. So what do I mean by that? Well, remember earlier on in the webinar, I said somebody opts in on this page and then right away they get sent this lead magnet. Well, what we're going to do for you is we'll take the text that you want. You tell us the text that you want on your resource guide, and we'll take that text and turn it into a beautiful resource guide lead magnet that you can give away to your audience. Okay? So now our top designer will design an awesome PDF that you can give away to folks who opt into your list. Now you don't have to hire a designer. You don't have to try to figure out, how to do it yourself or whatever. We'll just take that text and turn it into an awesome looking PDF that you can give away to your audience. Okay? So again, leadpages.net/John1 before the webinar is over with, and you will be able to get all these bonuses. The second bonus is you'll get our landing page course. So we actually have an awesome course all about how to write great copy for your landing pages. Our CEO, Clay, created this, and he is the landing page copy master. And this will basically give you all the guidance that you need to create awesome landing page, to write awesome landing page copy, to make sure that people are opting into your list, registering for your webinars, and buying your products. So we'll give you that course absolutely free when you sign up for lead pages before the webinar is over with at leadpages.net/John1. Next, you'll get 5 free landing page or lead boxes critiques. So, once you sign up for your lead pages account at leadpages.net/John1, you'll get into your account, you'll start creating your pages. You're going to want some guidance about, what to do with your pages. How can you improve them? That kind of stuff. So you tell us the landing pages you want us to critique, and some members on our team will actually go in there. We'll look at your exact landing pages that you've created. We'll tell you what to do with the images. We'll look at your copy. In most cases, we'll even rewrite the copy for you. And with over 35,000 customers now, we see the highest converting landing pages in just about every single industry. We'll have a good idea about what works best in your particular industry. We'll give you personalized coaching to improve the conversion rate of your landing pages. That alone is worth the cost of lead pages. Seriously, I would have killed to have had this when I was using lead pages in my business prior to working here. Okay. Next, you'll get our webinar course. So we have an awesome course that is all about how to do webinars. Now, we have two different ones. There's a free webinar course on our website, but we have the most in-depth course on webinars ever that our CEO created that he used to sell for $197. And this is the only place you can get it as a bonus for the webinar by going to leadpages.net/John1 and signing up for Lead Pages before we end this webinar. And the beautiful thing about this course is it walks you through step by step everything you need to know to do great webinars. So it's going to tell you how to create the content for your webinars, how to lay out and script your webinars, how to get people to register, how to get them to show up, how to get them to stick around to the end, how to get them to actually buy your products and services. It's going to tell you the technology to use, both paid and free. And it's going to tell you how to follow up with your webinars to create webinar replays. Okay, it talks about all of this stuff. It's an absolutely amazing resource. And again, that's $197 value that you're getting absolutely free when you sign up for Lead Pages by going to leadpages.net/John1. And then last but not least, you'll be able to instantly download and watch the pre-sale formula. Now, the pre-sale formula is an amazing course all about, first off, how to build an interest list of folks who are already interested in the product that you want to create. Then it's about how to work with that audience to have them tell you exactly the product that they want you to create. Then it's about how to pre-sell the product to that audience to fund the creation of your product. So you'll have a profitable product before you ever spend any time creating that product. All right. So here are a few people that have gone through the pre-sale formula. This is Kim West, the sleep lady. She generated $71,256 before she ever even created her product. Okay. This guy, Alpha Chimp, said, it was amazing to watch all these people sign up before we'd even made the course. In a few months, we brought in right around $45,000. And again, he did that before creating his product. So before the webinar is over with, when you go to leadpages.net/John1, you sign up for Lead Pages. We'll design your resource guide lead magnet for you. You'll get our landing page course. You'll get 5 free landing page or lead boxes critiques. You'll get our webinar course, and you'll be able to instantly download and watch the pre-sale formula. Now, a whole bunch of people are saying they're going to leadpages.net/John1, and it's taking them, leadpages.net/John1. And it's taking them to our homepage. So this is exactly what should happen. The reason why is it's tagging you to make sure you get the bonuses. Okay, so you need to go to leadpages.net/John1 in order to make sure you get the bonuses. And then when you go there, you're going to click on the button that says click here to get Lead Pages now. It'll take you right over here. And then to get the bonuses, you need to select either an annual or a 2-year plan. So it's got to be an annual or a 2-year plan. And now all of our plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So worst case scenario, you try it, it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, and you can cancel within 30 days and get all your money back. But if you love it, and you're definitely going to love it, but when you love it, first off, you can always upgrade from one plan to another. All right. So if you're not sure which plan to go with, I would encourage you to get started with the standard annual. The standard annual is a great place to start. And the reason why I say that is because you can always upgrade to Pro or Enterprise later if you want to. With the standard annual, you save over 33% off. All right. So it's a great deal. You can do everything we talked about on this webinar with the standard annual, and you still get all the bonuses. All right. So again, I would encourage you to just get started with the standard annual if you're not sure which plan to go with. If you want to get a higher one, that's fine. But the standard annual is a great place to start, and you get all the bonuses. Now, the only other thing is, if you're already a customer and you want to know how to get the bonuses, here's what you're going to do. So before the webinar is over with, you're going to log into your account, click on My Account, and then click Upgrade My Account. When you do that, if you're on a month-to-month plan now, you're going to upgrade to an annual plan. If you're already on an annual plan, you just need to upgrade to any higher plan. So if you're on a standard annual, you could upgrade to Pro Annual, or you could upgrade to standard 2-year, whatever you want to do. But you're just going to upgrade to a higher plan if you're already on an annual or a 2-year plan. And then just email bonusnoreply@av81.com. That's AVE81.com. So bonusnoreply@av81.com, and you'll be able to get your bonuses. So with that said, John, I just wanted to see what you thought. What'd you think of the webinar? Did we rock this thing out? And what you think of the bonuses and all that kind of stuff? Oh, I see John's muted. Might be stuck on mute. That happens to me all the time. That's all right. I'll answer some questions while we wait for John to chat with us. So the first question I'm seeing is people want to know, can I use lead pages with multiple businesses and on multiple websites? And the answer to that is yes. You can absolutely use it with multiple businesses. We have what's called an unlimited policy. What that means is you can create an unlimited number of lead pages. You can get unlimited traffic to your lead pages, and you can use them on an unlimited number of domains, including client domains. So here's a great way to bring in some extra income for your business. You could use your one lead pages account, and you could create landing pages for other folks that they can publish on their websites, and then charge them for the creation of those landing pages. And yes, you can do that with one account because you can use it on an unlimited number of domains. So, John, I think I saw you unmute there for a second. What'd you think?
Hey, Tim. Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to find the unmute button.
That's all right. No problem.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome webinar. Yeah, even I learned a few things there with the multiple thank you pages. That was really that made it for me. So I'm gonna be doing some revamping of my thank you pages just to do a little more personalization and increase that conversion.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. But yeah, so thank you very much, Tim, for going on. There are some more questions I see coming on. We should get to some of those questions. If you do have any questions, type it in for Tim and myself. We'll answer it. But we still have some time here on this webinar. So if you have a question, type it in now, and we'll get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So let's keep rolling with them. So somebody said, is it easy to do this in Spanish? Absolutely. Yep. You can actually, you can translate the language to whatever you want, and we'll do the bonuses. We have Spanish speaking folks on our team as well, so we can do that. Do you know of a simple graphic to help illustrate to beginners how lead pages interacts with autoresponders? I don't think we have particularly a graphic, but it's pretty simple. Basically, all it does is when somebody opts in, lead pages just passes along their opt-in info to your email service provider. So that's all it is. And if you're having a hard time understanding that or whatever, we have a weekly. Actually, it's twice a week. Twice a week we do a live webinar for lead pages customers. It's called our Launchpad webinar. Bob, the teacher, our marketing educator, does that. And you can join that. And he basically walks you through the process of setting up your email service provider, all your integrations, creating your first landing page, creating your first lead box, all that kind of stuff. He walks you through it live on the webinar. So it's a really, really awesome webinar. And I would encourage anybody who's interested in this stuff, interested in kind of growing their business, to jump on that and get a chance to experience that. Will you also critique the content we send for the resource guide lead magnet? No, we won't really critique your resource guide lead magnet content because that's going to be up to your area of expertise. If you're, that's not a conversion point, right? So if your resource guide has info on it, that they've already opted in once they download that. So you don't really need that to be critiqued. Did you say the upgrade needs to be done before this webinar ends? Yes. In order to get the bonuses, you need to upgrade before the webinar is over with. Let's see. Somebody said I'm in the early stages of starting my blog thanks to John. That's awesome. I got a great deal with HostGator. Won't be able to take advantage of this deal, but we'll definitely be getting lead pages. Well, hey, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that this was valuable to you regardless. What is the best way for new lead pages users to systematically learn how to use it? Well, that webinar that I just mentioned would be a great way. The other thing is when you sign up, you're going to be getting great free training sent to your inbox. So we send you these training videos on how to get up and running. In your new account, you'll have a video that walks you through everything that you need to know to get started. It's a quick start video. Really, really valuable. Yeah. So we said, best way to drive traffic to the lead page. We could do about 20 webinars just on traffic generation. But the thing about traffic is there's really two things that you need. You have kind of two options. You can either have time, which means you're creating content. You're doing webinars. You're promoting via social media. You are writing guest posts. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with time. If you don't have time, then it means that you're buying traffic. So you can pay for traffic. You can buy time on other people's lists. You can pay for Facebook ads, Google ads. I mean, there's lots of ways to drive traffic. And they're not that difficult. But the thing is, the reason why this whole webinar was about conversion and not so much about traffic is because traffic is actually easy to come by. But if you're not converting that traffic, it's wasted time and wasted money. So I believe that you need to have your conversions going first and then traffic next. It's kind of, people always ask me, the chicken or the egg, should you get traffic or conversion first? But I don't think it's chicken or the egg. I think it's clear you want your conversions first. Otherwise, your traffic means nothing and it's been a waste of time. So somebody said, what's the difference between Lead Pages and Aweber? So Aweber is an email service provider. So that is where, when somebody opts into your list, that's where that information is stored. And then when you want to email out to them, you use Aweber. So Lead Pages gets the information from them. It convinces them to give you their information. And then Aweber is what you do with their information. So excellent webinar, guys. Somebody said, my question is for John. They said, once you gain the opt-ins, how often do you suggest I mail out a newsletter to my readers?
That will really depend a lot on what industry you're in and also your own personal feeling. Generally, myself, I generally email my list once they sign up on a daily basis. Because my feeling is that they're signing up to my list to receive content. So I'm not scared to email my list once a day. And the reason for that is because, look, they're signing up for content. A lot of people might think that you're just hitting them too many times. But if you look at the biggest blogs in the world, like say Huffington Post or CNN blog, whatever, they have thousands of blog posts every single day, right? So obviously they're not afraid to post content, so don't be afraid to post content. But a lot of it also depends on the industry you're in. Like if you're in an industry where the updates don't come that often, like whatever that may be, then maybe twice a week or maybe once a week would work. But I'm in an industry that everything is moving very, very quickly and moving very fast, so I do it once a day.
Yeah, that's great. That's great feedback. I love that. Somebody said Lead Pages affiliate commission. How much? Yeah, so we pay 30% recurring commission. So what that means is, for as long as somebody's a Lead Pages customer, every time they make a payment, you make 30% of that. So if you are considering becoming an affiliate, you're going to want to be a pro annual customer or a pro 2-year, because you need to be a pro or enterprise customer to be an affiliate. So real quick, a whole bunch of people have already signed up. So I want to say thanks to Montserrat B. Thank you to Anthony D. Looks like Tao D. Renee B. Thanks so much. A whole bunch of people are in the process of signing up. So thank you so much. Also, some folks have already upgraded. So Timothy F., Joshua E., thank you so much. So I see a bunch of people signing up, and I really, really appreciate that. Somebody said, where do we get access to the webinar? Yeah, so we'll be sending you a link within your email within 24 to 48 hours or so, and you'll get a chance to click the link and watch the replay. Now, it's going to be a one-time only encore presentation, so make sure you keep an eye on your email for that replay. Yep. Can Lead Pages be used to create videos, including the hosting? Nope, but once you have your video created, you can put them on a Lead Page. But no, Lead Pages is not a video creation tool. Montserrat said, is the bonus only for yearly or monthly too? Yeah, I saw that you had signed up for monthly. So it is only for yearly. So if you want the bonus, you can log into your new account and upgrade to the annual. You can upgrade to the pro annual because you're on the pro monthly. You could upgrade to the pro annual and you'll be able to get the bonuses that way. Is it true that paid traffic doesn't convert that well? No, not at all. Does it have a lower conversion rate than organic traffic from folks that already know who you are and have had a chance to read some of your blog? Of course, absolutely. But paid traffic is an amazing channel, but it's all about tracking what you're doing. So if you're just randomly sending paid traffic and spending money and sending people to your website, well, yeah, clearly that's not going to do that's not going to really help you much. But if you're tracking it and you know how much it costs to send every person to your landing page or your web reg page or your sales page or whatever, you know how many of them convert, and you can figure out, basically how much it costs to get one sale, then if it's worth it or not. But yes, paid traffic is a great medium. After someone's opted into your list, would you advise to offer bonuses when trying to turn a lead into a customer? Oh, that's a really deep question. It really depends on your business, your audience, what your cycle is. Your funnel. We actually don't offer bonuses except for when we're doing promo or on a webinar like this. So we don't offer bonuses for somebody who just opted into our list. But you know what? If you're trying to get a quick sale, sure, you could do something like that. Somebody asked about the costs of different services. I don't keep my mind fresh with all the updated costs of the different services other than lead pages. So you can go to their websites and check it out. I know John has resources on his website that you can check out that will show you kind of the prices and stuff like that. So you can do that. Somebody said, where and how do you get the WordPress plugin? I can't find it in the WordPress plugin area. Nope, it's only inside your lead pages account. So you would go inside your lead pages account, and when you go to publish a page, so, you can see right here on my screen, this is, when you're going to publish a page, you click publish, and then you click WordPress, and you download the plugin right there. All right. So you would only get the WordPress plugin if you were a Lead Pages customer, because the only thing it does is publish the pages to your WordPress site. Somebody said, I love it, John. I look forward to my daily email. That's awesome. Somebody else said the same thing. I look forward to my daily email from you, John. So keep them coming. That's great. Somebody said just upgraded. Thanks. Somebody said, is it called something else? Let's see. Somebody said I was signing up and submitted credit card information and clicked on something that sent me to an upgrade page with video. Yeah. So all that page was trying to get you to upgrade to a to the next level plan. You are signed up. There's in the bottom right, you can click that you don't want to upgrade, and you'll be fine. Somebody said, I'll be signing up. Thank you. I'm growing my business. We'll be blogging about lead pages and setting up lead pages for my members. Thank you. We'll get on that shortly. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Somebody said, only one-time replay, did you say? Slow learner. Yeah, just a one-time only replay. So keep your eyes open for that email with details for that replay. And thanks to Bill P for signing up. I saw your order just came through. Thank you so much. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to sign out here. But what I'll do is, because I know a lot of you are still in the middle of signing up, and I don't want to lock you out of getting your bonuses. I'll extend the bonuses until 3:00 Eastern. So that gives you like 45-ish minutes to sign up and get the bonuses. So you've got about 45 minutes to sign up. Make sure you go to leadpages.net/John1 and sign up before the webinar is over with, or upgrade your account before the webinar is over with. Before 3:00 Eastern. So you've got about 45 minutes to do that. John, thank you so much for having me here. This has been a blast as usual.
Yeah, Tim, thank you for doing this. I'm sure, judging by the comment, everyone enjoyed it too. I hope everyone learned a lot. But most of all, I hope everyone actually takes what you learn and actually implements it, because, and I said this many times before, it's great to learn, but sooner or later we have to actually put into action what we learn. So, and that begins with, as you can see, the value of lead pages. And I've been using lead pages for, well over a year now. And like I said, it's been one of my cornerstone foundation tools, along with Aweber, lead pages, and my tracking software. Those three tools, with lead pages being the main one, because that's where all my leads come in. But these tools, they're responsible for making me over $1 million a year. And
amazing.
for the cost of what it is, it's like you're looking a cup of coffee a day on a daily basis, right? So
unbelievable. Yeah. I love that. That's a great testimonial, John. We appreciate that. And we hope to see you folks, using lead pages. Again, leadpages.net/John1. Again, annual plan, it's, the least expensive is $297 a year. $297 a year is nothing. So you want to sign up for that. Buford T, thanks so much for signing up. I appreciate that. And so again, thanks everybody for being here. John, thanks so much. Everybody have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you very much. And like I said, this bonus is open until for another, till 3, was it what time?
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
That's not a 45 minutes. So yeah. All right, awesome, Tim. Thank you very much. That was a fantastic webinar. I look forward to doing the next one with you. And thanks to everyone for showing up. And hope you have a great day, and may it be profitable as always.